What is going on, you guys? AK40 Kevin here in the gamer heaven. So it's been exactly 2 months, 3 weeks, and 1 day since I bought my Xbox Series S and brought her home. Yes, I did look up the exact day I bought it. So I have almost 3 months with this bad boy, and I want to go over the pros and cons of owning this little budget banger. Alrighty guys, so like I alluded to in the intro, I have had the Series S for about 3 months now, and I want to go over my experience as an owner with this bad boy. So I do have my assistant with me today over there. She's a little tired, but she will be helping us out just in case I forget anything. She can kind of step in and let me know, hey, you're forgetting that thing that you like about it. So right off the bat, I will say this right up front, it is the best value in gaming right now as far as a console is concerned. You combine that with Game Pass, and that is the best budget way to get into the next generation of consoles, because it's $300, which is $100 less than the $100 less than the discless version of the PS5 and $200 less than the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 disc version. Now, you are getting substantially less graphical power as far as teraflops are concerned. However, you are getting an SSD in there, which makes load times extremely fast, and you are getting support for 120 hertz or 120 frames per second at upscaled 1440. How it works is it dynamically plays a game at either 1080 or as low as 720p, but the image that you will actually see is going to be 1440 with HDR, depending on your TV, and 120 hertz, which looks very good. I am coming from an Xbox One X, which was the flagship of the 8th generation, so last gen, and a lot of people are saying that, oh, that looks graphically better than a Series S and whatnot. It does not. Maybe in certain titles and certain situations, there might be slightly better textures and shaders on a game that make it look better on a One X, but I have to say, from owning that for 2 years and then having the Series S for 3 months and playing a lot of games on it, the Series S actually does look better. With HDR on at an upscaled 1440, it does look very, very good, even though you could get native 4K on many titles with the Xbox One X. Isn't that right, Harley? That's right. And the primary reason I bought a Series S is that I'm also getting a PS5. It will be here in about 4 or 5 days. I made a video separately explaining how I got that and how it's like set in stone when I'm getting it and all that good stuff. So there's no need for me to have both flagships for Microsoft and Sony, because that's $1,100 in console after tax, which is substantial. Not to mention, the Series S has the exact same operating system, uses the same peripherals as the Series X. So from a YouTube content perspective, I can still do just about everything I could on a Series X, minus the flagship tests in frames per second and stuff like that. And also, in my mind, if you already have a high-powered gaming PC, there really isn't a need to have an Xbox, because there is no Xbox exclusives. So all Microsoft games are in the ecosystem. It's playable on the Xbox One, the Series, the Windows 10 PC, so you can just plug a controller into the top of your tower and play games like that. So it's not like PlayStation 5 where they have dedicated exclusives where it kind of, that would drive you to buy that one console.
Are you dead over there? Oh, you're not dead. You're alive.
So the things I do like about the Series S is right up front, the bang for buck. The sheer budget there is absolutely awesome. Like I said, Game Pass is $15 a month, and that is for Ultimate, which gives you Xbox Gold, Live Gold. So you get 3 free games a month from that, not to mention ability to play online. Plus, you get the Game Pass library, which is actually really, really good. This isn't a plug or anything like that, but it is a good value. It's probably one of the best values in gaming. When you combine that with a $300 console, and then $15 a month, you have a massive library of games, most of which are older titles that are updated for the new consoles for S and X. They're already at 120 frames per second, 1440 or 4K, depending on which version you have. It has the same read and write speed as the SSD that you're going to find in the Series X. However, it is much, much smaller. The SSD is awesome for when you're launching the console, just like launching a PC with an SSD. It fires up very quickly, and you can get directly into game very quickly. Load times in games are virtually non-existent. When I was revisiting titles that I had played on Xbox One and 360, I remember sitting at load screens for like over a minute. Now it's like 2 seconds, if that. You can also switch between games with instant game response. I do also like the updated controller. It is very, very, very similar to the Xbox One controller. However, they have made some changes to it. This one's been customized by me, put in some different face buttons and some swappable thumbsticks, stuff like that. That video is also on this channel if you're interested. But I really do like that controller. It's similar enough to where you can actually go backward and forward compatible with these controllers. You can use Xbox One accessories, controllers, headsets, etc., on the Xbox Series, and you can use Xbox Series controllers on an older Xbox One. So that is really cool. PlayStation, none of the premium controllers from previous generation are usable. So you just spent like $200 on a scuff or something, and you're going to be using the DualSense 5. So there's that. I will say the onboard Wi-Fi card is very, very quickly. On Wi-Fi, I'm getting about 230 down and 30 up, which is pretty good. Plugged into Ethernet, I get about 450 to 500, which, you know, is less than you would think considering it has a gigabit Ethernet port, and I do get speeds of 960, 30 up on my PC, which is Ethernet plugged. But still, that's pretty good for a console. It's good enough to where I stream directly from the console. I never drop any frames or have bitrate issues or anything like that. The user interface is virtually identical to the previous generation Xbox One. They added dynamic themes, some new tiles. That's about it. It's very similar to the interface on Xbox One, which can be kind of a downside because unlike the PlayStation, which has a fully next-gen experience with the user interface, this just feels like a mid-cycle refresh as far as the user interface is concerned. So that can be a pro or a con. It's a pro because there is no learning curve. You just jump right in and it's like you're on your Xbox One. But it doesn't feel like that premium next generation product having a new user interface. Now, the things I do not like about it, there's really only one. There's a couple of nitpicky things here and there. I did make a video a while ago, like 5 things I love about my Series S, 5 things I hate about my Series S, and I had to really think hard to try and nitpick things that I didn't like about it. But what I really don't like, and is a huge deal, is the storage. So you have a 512 gigabyte storage. You have a 512 gigabyte SSD. However, that is only 364 usable gigabytes of storage, which is like nothing considering most modern titles are well over 100 gigs. Some games with DLC packs and map packs and stuff get up there to about 200 gigs. So you can get like 3 AAA titles on that hard drive and a couple of apps like YouTube and Twitch, and you're full, which sucks. Xbox did launch with a proprietary 1 terabyte external NVMe SSD you plug into the back. That thing is incredibly expensive. It's like $200, which is absolutely ridiculous. That is linked in the description below if you want to pick one up. They're hella pricey, but it has the same speed as the internal drive, so you'll have no issue with game compatibility and whatnot. But what I've been doing is I have a 4 terabyte external Seagate plugged in here, which gives me 3.6 terabytes of actual usable storage. You can store all your legacy titles on there, so Xbox Original, 360, Xbox One, and you can play Xbox One games directly from the external, and you're going to miss out on those load times that you're going to get with the built-in SSD, but you can still play them from that, which is awesome. And also, the only games that you cannot play from the SSD are brand new Xbox One or Xbox Series games or older Xbox One titles that have been optimized for Series. For example, the Halo Master Chief Collection. That automatically got a boost to 120 frames per second and increased shaders and stuff like that. So that you have to play from inside the hard drive. So it's not terrible, but you're going to eventually need to expand storage, and that's like $200, which is 2/3 of the cost of the console. So I would say just use a little external hard drive. I do have one linked in the description below that I recommend. It's cheap, but it also has good read and write speeds, so you can play games without any kind of lag or delay. I do also think it looks very cosmetically pleasing. It is a very aesthetically nice console. It's by far the smallest of this generation, and even looking back at previous gen consoles, it is extremely tiny, very simplistic design, white with a black fan port. I think it looks really, really good. It is also dead silent. You can put your ear right up on the fan, and it's like a baby blowing out the candles on a birthday cake. It's so quiet, so quiet. So overall, what's my experience having owned this bad boy for about 3 months? Incredibly good. For $300, I cannot see anyone being disappointed in this console, to be 110% honest with you. I think the perfect combination for this generation would be having a PS5, probably disc drive so you can watch your Blu-ray movies in there and whatnot, and also play your older legacy titles, and an Xbox Series S. You get the best of both worlds, and if you can only buy like one console, I would probably say if you have a gaming PC to get the PS5, but if you don't, I would say get an Xbox Series X. I feel like in the long term, it's going to have the best sustainability as the hardware is about 18% more powerful. CPU, GPU, and RAM. The only component that's stronger in the PS5 is a slightly faster storage drive. The SSD, the 825 gigabyte SSD in the PS5 is a little quicker to load. But I think in the long term, when games start getting developed exclusively for Xbox Series X with that full horsepower to take advantage of, it's going to be amazing. And it does have a Blu-ray player built on board, that one. It uses all the same peripherals and accessories as the Series X, so I can do reviews on that. And every time I play on it, I just feel like it's super simple. The experience is super simple. I just launch a game. If it's available, it's already optimized to the new gen specs of 120 frames per second at 1440, which, like I mentioned, does look good with that HDR and everything. And having that frame rate is amazing. Just sitting on a couch and getting PC-like refresh rate is truly amazing. And then also the lack of load times. That is a huge game changer too. Being able to quickly get in and out of games and launch apps is freaking awesome. So overall, I gotta say, I really do like it. Personally, I've had no issues with it whatsoever. The only thing, like I said, that storage is a bit of a problem. You're gonna have to expand eventually. Hopefully the price goes down, or it goes on super sale for Black Friday or Cyber Monday or something, where you can scoop up that 1 terabyte external from Microsoft. But in the meantime, just use like a plug-in external and you'll be fine there. And it's just a good console overall, boys. So 10 out of 10, would recommend. If this video is beneficial for you guys, liking the video helps it to get seen by more people, so this can reach them and help them as well. Subscribe for more videos like this, more content around the Xbox Series S and PS5 and PC, of course. And tallywhack that notification bell so you're aware when new videos come online. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.